Here is few tips on how to cover your cake with fondant using the paneling method. First, you measure out all your cake, the top, the base, the length, the width. Now you need your fondant. You have to need your fondant to be very, very palatable. You begin to spread out in a way, to get a very long width. You've measured it out already. You begin to spread it out, and after spreading it, make sure you always dust your working surface with a corn flour. If you cannot work with a corn flour, you use vegetable shortening. It can also work for you. It's also good. So you cut out the excess, just as you have seen in this video. And after cutting out the excess, you smoothen the body of the cake on the table. Smoothing it, make sure you do that, because that will determine how smooth your cake will be. Then you still cut out, the excess, so that it will give you a very good long strip or rectangle shape and all that. Then you cut out the top, the round shape. Now you place the round one on top of the cake and smoothen it. This is very, very important. Don't omit this, so that it can stick very well to the cake. Now you flip it. I love flipping my cake because this is the method that works for me. So if this method does not work for you, you look for another method that will work for you. So you flip your cake. Now you cut out the excess on the cake. You can actually use a wheel cutter, and you can also use a craft knife. You can even use your kitchen knife. You do what works best for you. Now, after cutting it out, you are going to apply cake gum on the base of that fondant. The excess of applying this gum is so that when you are, covering with the long one, so it can stick, especially that tips, it can stick very well. So now you are going to apply some gum on the long one that you're about to use and cover the cake, the body of the cake. So you spray some gum on the body of the cake too. Now I'm going to apply some gum on the tips of the cake, because I want when it meets the other tips so it can lap. Now you just see the way I'm going to carry. You carry it up with confidence, because you have a good fondant recipe. If you have not seen my fondant recipe, you can go down my page. You will see, or my channel, you will see where I drop fondant recipe for all weather. It works for all weather. So now you're going to smoothen it very well. Make sure you smoothen this very well so that it will stick to the body of the cake. It will stick so that it won't go off. Now you're going to place your ruler and cut it where this cake overlap, the fondant overlap. You see where it overlap. So now I've removed this excess. I'm still going to open it up. You remove the excess that is inside. Now you're going to apply gum at the tips of the edge. The excess of this is so that when you put it, it will stick and gum and lap. See the way it's well lapped. It is well lapped. Now you smoothen it. You can never over. So you smoothen your cake. Now you're going to cut out the excess on the top. As you can see in the video, I'm cutting out the excess on the top. This is to make your work so easy, so that your cake will sit properly on your cake board. So you keep doing that. Now you are going to, this is still cutting out the excess, see, reducing some of the excess that was still there. Now you flip it back. So now there is something I used to do, if you look at those cake, I don't like seeing the edges on top, So I'm going to, apply some cake gum on top of the cake. I'm going to place a very thin layer of fondant, a very thin, in fact, it's almost like a see-through layer of fondant. So you place it, you can see it is very, very thin. So you smoothen it properly so that it can stick, it can mix. It's fondant, it will mix together. So I love flipping. That's me. In this video, you must have seen me flip cake up to 3 or 4 times. I love flipping, even if it's big cake. That's me. So you trim it out. You remove the excess of the thin layer. So after removing the excess, you still smoothing. You see, when you're working with fondant, you don't play with smoothing of cake. You smoothing it properly. And again, let me not forget, learn how to use your smoother. So now this is the cake board. I've already covered it with fondant. I'm applying the cake gum on it right now because I want to place the board on the bottom of the cake. So now flip it. I've placed it. I'm just checking if the cake is in the center. Now I'm going to flip it back. Oh, I've been flipping cake so much in this cake. I'm so sorry, but that's my method of working. If it works for you, fine. Now you're going to use brush and dust off most of the corn flour and plenty of them. Remove them from your cake. Now you're going to steam this cake. Please, if you don't have a good fondant recipe, don't steam your cake because it might just be a disaster. So this is a very good fondant recipe. If you go down my page, it is there. Okay, I'm going to post another video of the design I finally made with this cake. But in this video, this is how to panel your cake with fondant recipe. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye.